I am J. Alfred Smith, Sr., and you are watching Empowering Voices.
The Empowering Voices community is honored to welcome Dr. J. Alfred Smith, noted theologian and pastor emeritus of the Allen Temple Baptist Church in Oakland, California. Welcome to Empowering Voices.
Thank you. I'm pleased to be here tonight.
I'm going to say these words because I know you're very humble and modest about it, but you are a noted worldwide theologian. You're noted for your interfaith work with regards to poverty and racism and the other isms of the world, if you will. But please, starting out the conversation, please tell us, why did you see a need to, being a pastor of the church, to integrate your work for liberation with the Black Panther Party?
The Black Panther Party was doing what the African American church was not doing. First of all, the Black Panther Party was speaking truth to power. Secondly, the Black Panther Party provided free breakfasts and free medical clinics, and they were doing everything that Jesus told us to do in Matthew, the 25th chapter. We were more interested in the temperature of hell and the furniture of heaven rather than dealing with the nasty now and now. And so I didn't want to just deal with the sweet by and by. I wanted to deal with the issues that the revolutionary Christ was dealing with, and not the Christ that's just concerned with whether I believe four spiritual laws. Not the Christ of the institution, but the Jesus who walked with the poor.
And so we fast forward to today in the 21st century. Is there still a need for us to be empowered by the Christ who walks with the poor?
You would think that after the role modeling of people like Dr. Moss, Dr. Jeremiah Wright, the late Dr. Martin Luther King, that we would be farther along with the mission of loving people and fighting for justice. But the black church has taken a curious turn. So many of the ministers now are into the prosperity gospel, and they don't realize that Jesus was never prosperous, that Jesus was born poor, and Jesus didn't have burial insurance. He had to be buried in a borrowed tomb.
When you think about the fact that some people are saying today the black church is dead or there's no need for the black church, what is your response to that?
Uh, well, maybe the institutional black church as we know it ought to die. However, wherever the poor are, Jesus is there. Wherever the hungry are, Jesus is there. Wherever women are being denigrated, wherever children are being denied their dignity, Jesus is there. And wherever Jesus is there, and wherever two or three of his followers are there, we will have a living church rather than a dead institution.
It is an honor for us to have this opportunity to talk with you. And before we end our conversation, if you would speak to our podcast series is intentionally titled Empowering Voices, Uplifting the Voice of the Voiceless, within the context of what God has called you to do on this earth, God's creation. Would you speak to the importance of empowerment for all persons from various walks of life?
Yes, I believe that instead of carving out little kingdoms for ourselves to preside over as if we are going to live forever, we ought to, like Moses, mentor Joshua's and mentor Caleb's, and we ought to be in the mentoring business like Elijah was about the mentoring business of mentoring Elisha's. And we ought to put our weight behind the liberation of women so that they can take their rightful place. Uh, we do not need uh, to think that we can articulate their concerns better than they can, but we ought to be there to affirm them and support them, and to always remember that the women were the last at the cross. They were the first at the empty tomb. They were the first to announce the kerygma. They were first to announce the fact that the new age had come, that the old covenant had died, and Jesus affirmed them. And even there is a side of Paul that fundamentalist preachers don't like to talk about. Over in Philippians, he said, help those women who labored with me in the gospel. And the Philippian church, first church founded on the European continent, was founded in the prayer meeting of Lydia, a businesswoman. And so I think that as I bring my ministry to a close, I want to be on the side of affirming women in ministry.
Thank you very much for this
Yeah.
opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to express myself.